If I were to ask you, is there such thing as prehistory? You have to say yes. And when you say yes, I want you to realize that you are admitting to a time in the past prior to recorded history. We, the original people, have settled here on planet Earth for so long that we've entered the state of prehistory. And so, we may teach things that cannot be verified by modern records because we were here before modern records. And thus the only possible reference using sound right reasoning would rightfully be us. Because we were there as our ancestors writing the records of my story, which they call mystery because they miss the point of our story. So, when an ignorant person says to you, what's your reference for that which is prehistoric? Just say to them, I am who Ray the sun god referred. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. I'm fearless. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in. Because of this truth, we understand that we will never be properly understood in the world and in a society where the authors become the authority and therefore makes things appear authentic when they really aren't. For knowledge about ancient people like ourselves, the ancient Egyptians, can only be told by us. Knowing this truth, the evil ones conspired a plot to make evil fair seeming, and so they have managed to blind the people to the truth. And unfortunately, many are now content in not knowing, and are now so well conditioned to trust in misinformation disseminated by those who don't know, they would ignorantly ask us to verify our ancient culture, which is prehistory. And they only would accept our answer if we reference authors in these modern times who can only speculate from the carvings we left on the walls in stone, for they were never there. Now, how does this happen? The evil ones had a plot that consisted of breeding authors, which seemed innocent because an author is one who set forth written statements as a source of authoritative information or opinions. And personally, I feel that everyone should write a book. I know I have. It's a great feat to accomplish. Now, the problem with these vindictive authors that the evil ones bred is they have confined themselves in a 400-year vacuum of misinformation and thus are petrified by prehistoric records. And so, they have intentionally fabricated their own concepts of everybody else's culture, customs, traditions, and religions, and based everything around their own belief and their own customs. They have accomplished this by strategically and collectively manufacturing and producing as many books as they can about things that are not true and accurate. And because they are a part of the society that controls the media via television, magazines, radios, and internet, they are able to establish reference points in their ideology, making what they write appear authentic. The saying goes, if that much people are saying the same thing, it must be true. Right? Wrong. That's not true. But they like to play this sort of number game in order to sway your mind into believing in that which is wrong. They first created the school system and then gave degrees to each other on other people's land. They even got us, the indigenous people, to praise their degrees with photo ops of doctorates and PhDs. Created a system where they make you think that the more education you obtain from them, the more money you can make, which is also not true. And since we fell for this lie, every May and early June, you can't miss the amount of people who graduate from their backward institutions of lies. And here's the psychology behind this. The first lie they tell you, and your acceptance of it makes you vulnerable for the second and the third lie. And before you know it, you are well conditioned to accept the lies that follow. And what this does is affect the way your brain grows by information. You don't even realize that you are out of your mind and in someone else's. When you have these institutions that are set up to undermine people by keeping them ignorant to what took place prehistory, though they would enter the word history and prehistory in their dictionaries, they don't want you to step back to prehistory and identify a time, a place, or a culture. Because if you do, in this so-called land of the free, they will label you a cult, which simply means to care, from the Latin word cultus. But it's often used in a negative context in the Western Hemisphere to safeguard against the truth ever getting told. So be ever mindful of the authors who become the authorities and therefore make things appear authentic. We must begin to write more books. We must begin to make more movies about our story in order to verify ourselves, especially for our children. I'm Kef Ray, and this is Back to the Basic. Like, share, and subscribe. Facts we stated. You wanna know something? Go back to basics. Most saw a trap and was called the Matrix. The world civilized, yet it's hard to face it. So I spread truth, hope you embrace it.